The story of Cain and Abel is often told as the first act of violence, a story of jealousy, rejection, and loss. But what if this story isn't just about two brothers? What if it's about something happening within you and within the connections that trigger you most? Because Cain and Abel represent shadow. So have you ever looked at someone and felt something that you didn't want to admit? Jealousy, comparison, resentment? Maybe they had something that you wanted. Maybe they were seen in a way that you weren't. Maybe things seemed just to come easier for them. And instead of just being or feeling inspired, it stirred something deeper, something uncomfortable. And in relationships, deep, especially the deep, intense ones, this can show up even stronger. You love them, but they trigger you. You want them, but something in you resists. And that inner conflict, that's where this story lives. Because in this story, both Cain and Abel bring offerings, but only one is accepted. And instead of understanding his reaction, Cain internalized it. He compares, he feels rejected, he turns inward, but not with awareness, with resentment, and that resentment turns into destruction. Now let's bring this inward because Cain and Abel aren't just external figures, they represent two aspects that are within you. The part of you that feels aligned, accepted, and at peace, and the part of you that feels unseen, rejected, and not enough. And when that second part isn't understood, it becomes shadow. So let's bring this down in a real way because this shows up in your life more than you think. So the shadow is the part of you that you don't want to see. Cain didn't process his emotions, he didn't question them, he didn't understand them, he acted from them. And this is what shadow is, the unacknowledged parts of you: jealousy, insecurity, fear of not being enough. Not because they make you bad, but because they haven't been brought into awareness. So the second thing is comparison creates inner division. So you see, Cain compared his offerings to Abel's. And in that comparison, he created separation within himself. And we do the same thing. We look at others and think, why do they have what I don't? Why are they seen and I'm not? And why does it come easier for them? And instead of turning inward with understanding, we turn inward with judgment. See, the twin flames or deep connections mirror your shadow. So, in intense connections, this becomes amplified. The other person reflects what you desire, what you feel you lack, or what you haven't healed. So, instead of just love, you feel triggers, jealousy, fear, competition, emotional intensity. Not because the connection is wrong, but because it's revealing something. Now, the next thing is this unhealed shadow leads to self-sabotage. So Cain didn't harm Abel because of Abel. He acted from what was unresolved within him. And this is where people get stuck is they push people away, react emotionally, or create conflict. Not because they want to lose love, but because they haven't understood themselves. And the other thing here, the last thing here is awareness transforms shadow into growth. So the story could have gone differently if there was awareness, if instead of reacting, there was reflection. And that's the shift that shadow doesn't need to be suppressed, it needs to be seen. Because the moment you become aware of it, it no longer controls you. So, what do you do when this shows up? Well, first, you stop judging what you feel. Jealousy doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you aware of something deeper. The second thing is you ask yourself honest questions. What is this showing me? What do I feel I lack? And where have I not been choosing myself? And third, you take responsibility for your inner state, not blaming others for what they trigger, but understanding what's being revealed. Because every trigger is an opportunity to understand yourself more deeply. So Cain and Abel is not just a story about conflict. It's a story about what happens when we don't understand ourselves. You see, when shadow is ignored, it creates separation. But when shadow is seen, it becomes transformation. And the people who trigger you the most, they're not just part of your story, they're part of your awakening. So if this message resonated with you, if you're starting to see your patterns, your triggers, your reflections more clearly, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because this journey from shadow to awareness to ascension, we're walking it together. And I'll see you guys in the next video.